Welcome. What up? This is the
Hello.
LDF podcast. Long distance
Distance. Friend? Shit.
podcast. The LDF podcast. I'm
Yeah.
Sam Castillo.
I'm Andrew Wagner. With him as always.
Completely, we're just our timing is off, but this is Andrew
Oh,
Wagner.
okay. Are we having web connection issues?
We're not gonna redo it. Oh, whoa, my
With
level
him as sometimes is Andrew Wagner.
really high. Change that.
You really high?
My levels are really high.
Oh, I was trying to bust you on the pod.
No, dude, I'm stone cold sober.
Stone cold stoked.
I think next week marks a calendar year of the lockdown, of the pandemic.
Yeah, I came to Dallas on the 18th, I think.
Of March.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, yeah. I'm Sam. This is Andrew. It's the LDF show. Just us catching up. If this is your first episode, go back, listen to the old ones, but hang around for this one. It's just two long-lost friends making time to talk.
Making it work.
It is court-ordered.
Your friendships are relationships.
And they should not ask anything of you, ever. And if they ask anything of you, you cut them out of your life forever. Yeah. If at any point a friend, needs a ride or can't make it, to watch the big game, because you know how we love watching the big game.
Us boys, there's nothing like a big game.
Yeah.
When I hear about a big game, I say, where are the boys?
It's so funny how, the Super Bowl is so litigious with the name the Super Bowl that, radio stations and advertisers even, can't say it. I just remember, growing up, it was whatever furniture place, we've got couches to watch the big game. And I remember asking my dad, I was like, what's the big game? And he's like, the Super Bowl used to mean something, and then they just sued people to the point where. And I think that disdain for, I guess, sports, advertisers, and lawyers is that it rooted, that little seed was planted in that 6-year-old's brain, and now it's grown into, I'd say, bitter tree.
Sam, just like God Bless America, the Super Bowl used to mean something.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
I think that's I've been rewatching old Simpsons, and even in the 90s, they nailed it. There's this episode where Homer is boxing, the O.J. Simpson parody, and right before the boxing match, the announcer's by popular demand, we will forego the national anthem. And
that's so good.
Just a break and applause. It's just damn, if that isn't the truth now, too,
Dude, I love the idea of somebody showing up to watch the big game. And they come in I don't know, dressed in a polo team's outfit. And they're like, football? Where the hell's the big game? Or I guess they call it the big match if it were polo.
I can't imagine anyone watching polo unless they're drunk on alcohol you and I can't afford, right?
Yeah. It seems like
it's something
it's a rich person joke of a sport.
Yeah. It's something that
what if we just rode around on the horses?
Yeah.
Hitting shit.
Yeah. It's just something your second spouse plays and you have to go watch. And it's it could be.
Yeah. After you murder your wealthy husband, you have to go watch your younger, your inappropriately young second husband play polo.
Yeah. Yeah. He got his undergrad maybe one semester before your first son, and he got the same useless communications degree from Arizona State or something fake.
Yeah, Arizona State, that's a very real school.
Is it? It seems like something.
Yeah. I think you're confusing it with University of Phoenix Online.
I mean, Arizona State is one of those schools where it's like I've never been, but like I look at it and it's like I earnestly thought this as a child that it was like a made up school, like made up by like National Lampoon or like Van Wilder.
Arizona State.
Yeah, because I thought that no school would go with the Sun Devils. I'd see people with the T-shirt with the
Oh,
Sun Devils, and and as a kid, I noticed that they were all staggering back to their cars.
yeah.
Everyone with the Sun Devil shirt is barely upright.
Oh, these are
And
not educated people.
never. I mean, if they're not dragging their knuckles, they're like drunk, so they're like barely. Ugh. It's
Yeah.
like I just thought it was a fake school for years, and then in high school, I was like, oh, this is a real place. Like, I knew there
Yeah.
was a University of Arizona. That makes sense to me, but like, I didn't think that state was a real thing.
Yeah. That's funny though. I mean, it's a very real name. It's not like West Mayflower
Yeah,
Technological Institute of Agriculture.
but names don't mean anything. Like what's like a prestigious school is like Dartmouth. That
That
doesn't
sounds
sound
way
like
more made up.
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Like you're a sharp tongue school. Everyone's got a dart mouth. Everyone's
Yeah.
very dry, witty, and catty. That's what it doesn't sound like a real place.
Yeah. If you don't know where it is from the name of the school, it's very expensive.
That would be. It's like point. Which state is this Ivy League college in? And you just like put your finger on like New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, and Massachusetts, and you're like this one. It's like right, but
Yeah.
which New England state? And you're like
Yeah.
and making fun of Arizona State with these glasses really makes me look incel or nerdy, but I can't help it. I need them to see.
Yeah, Sam, I hate to break it to you, but you looked incel and nerdy before the glasses and Arizona State comments.
I didn't look like a Chad.
um, maybe at Planet Fitness with your tube socks pulled up to your calves. That's Chad mode.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, this has been like the worst week of my life. I got glasses finally. Like I went to an eye doctor, which if there's
Did you not
anyone
have these glasses last week?
uh maybe I did. No, I've always had these square ones and
I
like I
didn't
only
see you
need
last week.
oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. No, this is the first time you're seeing these things and
Hmm.
like
You had readers before. These are glasses, bro.
yeah, I know. I had readers. Isn't that embarrassing to say? Like
Yeah.
my family would make fun of me. They'd be like, "Oh, Sam's got to break out his cheaters." I'm like, "God,
He's cheating at seeing.
yeah, that's what old people call their glasses. Oh, I got to break out my cheaters to look at a menu."
Yeah, you break both legs and you're in a wheelchair. And like, oh, Sam's bopping along in his cheater chair.
He's just yeah, he's cheating at that too. I just become what is the character's name? Stevie from Malcolm in the Middle.
Is that the youngest one?
No,
Is
it's like Malcolm's best friend who like has
Oh,
a
okay.
wheelchair and then glasses and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
he's like using
Yeah,
it.
okay. He's the Millhouse. Got it.
Yeah,
I've never seen that show, but I knew that he wasn't the middle child because his name's not Malcolm.
that's right. That's right.
That's a bit of deductive reasoning for you.
That show is my favorite sitcom of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Sam is binge watching, this is to anyone listening. If Sam is binge watching Malcolm in the Middle, check in.
We got to stop saying if anyone's listening. We got to just be confident in
Be
assuming.
confident. Yeah. No. Well, how many episodes will be out at the time of this one coming out?
This is going to be number 3.
This is number 3.
Yeah, we were recording them all wacky out of order, but this is number 3.
Okay, we're nitty gritty in it
Going
now.
out Tuesday. I should be able to the 10th. No,
Yeah.
9th. Yeah.
Nice.
So try to
Well-
like predict what's going to happen in the world in the next
Yeah.
6 days.
Wait, why?
Just so we're like on the money when it comes out.
Oh, we need to be predicting.
Yes, we need to be predicting.
Dude, I think the response to the first episode was great. This will be the first one that people are hearing that the pod is actually out for. But I thought people seemed really excited.
No, people have. Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
thought it was
We got to stop saying if
great.
people.
No, I'm on board. I'm on board,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
But a few people texted me. They're like, I can't find it on iTunes anywhere. Like searching LDF, and if you search LDF, just type that straight into the iTunes podcast app. It just pulls up like 10 different other podcasts called LDF. And it's all just like two white girls that are both like 29. And like, oh man, is that what me and Sam are?
Yes. Every other LDF podcast is like, it's like women in their early 30s who it's like, when Rebecca got into bullshit school, she's getting like a master's in PR. We decided, like, and I was busy opening an apothecary in Nashville, selling, like hats. Yeah. We decided
to. No, it's just funny that we have more in common with those women than like the people that got us into podcasting.
Yeah, I mean, you've said for years that Ben Shapiro changed your life and got you into podcasting.
And if I didn't say it, my face and haircut did. It's good to get an alt-right joke in whenever you can.
Yeah. Well, and to balance it, unfortunately, these glasses make me appear to be an Ira Glass fan.
Yeah.
I look like I listen to serial podcasts with these glasses, and that's not the vibe I want to be. But
yeah, you need to practice your vocal fry.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ira Glass.
This is Sam Castillo. Welcome back to the Long Distance Friendship Podcast.
I mean, the worst is Michael Barbaro of The Daily for the New York Times.
Oh, I love Barbaro.
Yeah. What the? How? Like
I'm a daily. I daily.
I had to stop. The show. I remember one episode I was listening to, like, Barbaro had an immunologist on, and this is like very early in the pandemic, and he just keeps interrupting the immunologist to go, not good. And like, I had to I just pull the AirPods out and be like, just let the dude talk. You had him on, and like at the time we all, we were like all freaked out. We didn't know what's what. We didn't know whether we should be wearing masks or not even. And I guess we should now because the governor said so, right? No, I mean,
the goose is loose, baby.
People are gonna do what they want to do.
That's off, Texas.
Yeah, I was very happy that people at the gym were still masked up because
they got 10 more days.
What's that?
Isn't it on the 13th that?
Oh, is that what it is? Oh,
I thought it was the 13th that.
Oh,
everything's cut.
I don't know. We'll see, but
I think Austin will pretty much stay the same.
Most businesses here have put out statements saying that you can't. No mask, no service, except for the big one is just HEB is like.
Yes, dude, I thought that was so funny that everyone on Twitter is like, HEB should be the president because of like the response to like natural disasters and like they give people food during natural disasters and like that's the president. And now HEB is like, you don't have to wear a mask. I don't give a shit.
Well, I'll never understand like the hero worship of like. And as someone who I don't have a political party. And so I love to make, we're going to like, I'll cut weight at anyone, but, socialists will like, that we know, will like jerk off HEB and they're like, HEB's daddy, and like, and then they're like shocked when a major corporation is like, oh, the governor says no masks. So if we tell people they have to wear masks, that might hurt our sales. So we're going to just go with what the governor says to maximize sales. And people are like, what do you mean they're going to do what the governor's saying? It's like, yeah. Like it's.
Why is that corporation being a corporation?
It's not like any of us can afford to go anywhere else. We're not going to go to Whole Foods and get groceries, so we're gonna keep.
Where are you even gonna park?
Yeah, what am I supposed to go to Randall's like an asshole? Like,
I can't drive to Manchoc to get groceries.
yeah, I mean, yeah, no, you know, whatever. It's like just wondering why a company's behaving like a
Yeah.
company's.
Hey, up here in Dallas at Kroger, it's been dealer's choice the whole
Really?
time. People have
Yeah,
really been playing it fast and loose on the mask mandate.
yeah, yeah. I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't expect it to be much different.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that George Strait cup.
This one's where the cowboy rides.
Where did
Away.
y'all go to the Cowboy Rides Away tour?
I did not. The rest of my family did. I was not invited. I think it was a couples outing and married couples only.
Yeah.
Dude, I think my brother-in-law had never heard of George Strait before that. He'd never listened to George Strait.
Where's he
And
from?
then afterward, he's from Houston, Sugarland.
How did he pull that off?
Yeah, it's almost impressive. And then
He's like,
afterwards,
yeah,
he's
I've only listened to. Sorry, go ahead.
that was fantastic. I went and bought all of his CDs.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. He's like, I've only been listening to Paul Wall for 28 years, but this George Strait guy, he's as a Houstonian, I'll co-sign him.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. He found out about Hamilton recently, too.
Oh boy.
So
That was also something really great over the summer was like people have been just like, again, I don't get it. Like I never really, what do you think of when you think of Hamilton? I just think of the $20 bill.
He's on the 10.
Oh, is he?
You got money on your mind, bro.
Who's on the 20?
Andrew Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Sam's so broke. He hasn't seen a $20 bill.
Yeah, sorry, dude. I've only been using Dogecoin and Apple Pay.
Yeah, that's
for
right.
8
That's right.
years, so
You're not broke. You're galaxy brain rich.
yeah, dude. Yeah, I haven't touched paper money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just always thought of him as the guy on the bill that's not Benjamin Franklin, Washington, or Lincoln. One of the other guys.
Yeah.
And
No.
that musical came out, and everyone was just like, Hamilton's like, I always knew he was from the Bronx, he's the best. He's like, he holds it down for the barrio or whatever, and people are like rapping it over Ira Glass. And then those same people were like shocked when like people like anarchists were tearing down Hamilton statues across the country because he owned slaves. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's like people were like tweeting, "Did you know he owned slaves?" And it's like, well, no, but I could guess. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I love every song on there. You already know I did.
I already knew you did.
Yeah.
I mean,
You ask me what I think of when I hear Hamilton, I think dun 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 dun.
yeah, Disney Plus is own Andrew Wagner.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, who's someone who's stood the test of time to you? Like, obviously not HEB. Mr. HEB. Howard Earl Butt was it?
What
Not
corporation has stood the test of time?
or figurehead. That would not be an obvious
Oh,
choice.
Tony
I
Hawk.
think Martin Luther King is too safe of a choice.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I meant Martin Luther King, then Tony Hawk.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we could all say like Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Martin Luther even, those are people who have stood the test of time.
Sure.
But non social justice reasons. Who's someone? Tony Hawk's your person who stood the test of time. Yeah.
Yeah, he made a great video game and is just chill about it. He's the best vert skater. Well, maybe not even the best vert skater in the world, but he's the most famous skater. He's the most famous skater in the world, and he's just pure skate rap, man. So true.
Hell yeah.
But it's a little bit, and I don't mean to be judgmental. He's been married like 4 times, so it's like
he's had as many marriages as he's had spine operations.
Yeah. Yeah, one for each missing vertebrae. I don't know. What's your answer? Who do you think has stood the test of time?
Oh man, that's just tough. Man, I was gonna say Bryan Cranston, but I don't. I feel like that's probably not gonna be a smart choice. He's probably done something really fucked up.
What do you think?
I don't want to badmouth the guy without proof, but let's go ahead. So
Yeah. Did you know he dealt meth?
Yeah. Or whatever meth was in the East Village back. They called it like Reds. They called it Reds. Little red pills that was just meth.
Is he from New York?
I'm pretty sure he's like he's a classically trained actor. All of those classically trained actors.
Oh, okay, sure.
Like theater, stage actors, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Actually, I think my hero, and I truly mean this, is the Full House lady who bribed USC to get her daughter into school and is now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is actually salute.
You back her.
Because so many actors get caught doing something scandalous, and it's like, yeah, that is corrupt for sure. But and yes, USC is a joke of a school, but it's like that is kind of funny.
Yeah.
That the actor couldn't even because USC is the famous school for film, so there's a Steven Spielberg building Steven Spielberg's niece could get in there no problem. He's got the clout. But I think it's very funny and telling that a Nick at Night star didn't have the clout to get their kid into USC.
Yeah.
I find that kind of endearing. I find it kind of leveling, humanizing even.
Dude, that's so true. It's like that whole Hollywood thing where it's like, hey, I booked a major motion picture, but I'm still a waiter. There's levels to that. I was a Nick at Night star, but can't get my kid into USC.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, speaking of heroes, tests of time. And I'm not sure how related any of this is, but I really want to talk about this. I just want to say a true sentence to you, and I just want to see what your reaction.
Let's go.
Is. So, Post Malone, in collaboration with Pokemon, released an animated music video for a cover of Only Want to Be With You by Hootie and the Blowfish.
And you texted me. I've got big news for the podcast.
I've got big news. I'm dropping big news on the podcast tonight.
And I'm glad that you have this.
Isn't that so crazy? It's a whole virtual concert. It's 13 minutes long of Post Malone just singing to Pokemon. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen.
I'll give you that. It is. It's wild.
Dude, it's I don't know if this started with the Trump presidency, but all of the compartments in my brain have just been lifted, and now I don't know anymore who does what. And who knows who, watching Post Malone sing with Pikachu is like if I were at Mugshots and I opened up the bathroom door and my brother and my sophomore year biology lab partner were doing blow off of a Nintendo DS. It's how do you guys know each other? How did you even find what's going on here?
A Nintendo DS. What was the cartridge that was in it?
Nintendogs. What the fuck?
Yeah, Nintendo.
Dude.
Oh, dude, my labradoodle's being fussy.
Yeah.
Yes! First you get the power, then you get the money.
Yeah. And then it's my brother. I don't know if that makes sense. But there's another weird layer to it. So when Only Want to Be With You came out, there's a line in it from a Bob Dylan song. And like this is similar to the Super Bowl thing, because it's like, when can you just like say something that's associated with someone else without having to pay them? So in Only Want to Be With You, there's a line in the song where it's like, hey, up next, I'm going to sing a line by Bob Dylan. And then he says a Bob Dylan line verbatim. And then he says, isn't Bob Dylan great? That was Bob Dylan, everyone. And they had to pay royalties to Bob Dylan for every play of Only Want to Be With You. So now in my head, it's like Pikachu has to write a check to Bob Dylan for a song that Darius Rucker wrote. What's that?
Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu.
Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu is writing a check to Bob Dylan. Isn't that fucking crazy?
We all could have just been blowing down to nintendogs, you know? Instead, we chose a universe where Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu is writing a check to Post Malone, who's writing a check to Bob Dylan. I think, yeah. Which I mean, this is big news. I have no other way to put it. You were absolutely on the money.
It's big news. I'm glad you're not underwhelmed by it. I had a half Ritalin and a small cold brew this morning, and I was just pacing around my house. I'm like, how did they even approach Post Malone for that?
Yeah, you wish you could have been on that phone call, that Zoom call.
Oh my God, more than anything else.
Which, speaking of Pokemon, that triggered something in my brain. Do you remember the presidential candidate Herman Cain, who ran for president 10 years ago?
Yeah. Only by name. I don't remember anything else about him.
He owned, I think he was, how did he get famous? I believe he owned a pizza company. Was that him?
Did he own Little Caesars?
No, never mind. I'm thinking of
Who am I
something
thinking
else. No, I don't remember what he did. Oh, he worked for Coca-Cola in Pillsbury. That's what he did. But
okay.
he quoted, remember the Pokemon movie that came out in like 1999?
Remember it?
Yeah, I know you do.
Buddy, I cried thinking about it today.
Oh my God. You have all of your unknown cards cherished next to your bed. You've got a frame of like of Rifa and your dog, your little hell dog, and then you also have all your unknown cards. But apparently, like, Mewtwo gave like a speech in that movie that's like, and Herman Cain, when he like dipped out of the presidential race, he like lost a nomination to, I guess this was 2011, so it had to be Mitt Romney, and he quoted Mewtwo in the Pokemon movie.
That is so baller, dude. That is the sickest thing I've ever heard of. Joe Biden steals lines from like Martin Luther King. Herman Cain lifted one from Mewtwo. You have my vote.
Yes. So here you go. He goes, I believe these words were from the Pokemon movie, Cain said during and life can be a challenge. Life can seem impossible. It's never easy when there's so much on the line. But you and I can make a difference. There's a mission just for you and me. Just look inside, and you will find just what you can do. Herman Cain used those lines, citing them as a poem rather more accurately than The Power of One, which was in Pokemon the movie 2000.
Dude, that rules. That's so funny.
What a pimp.
Absolute player.
Yeah, let's look at his life. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So graduated with degrees in mathematics and computer science, was a ballistics analyst for the U.S. Navy, and then became part of Coca-Cola as a computer systems analyst. Wow, that's honestly... Oh, wait, I was right. Okay, so he eventually became president and CEO of Godfather's Pizza, which is like a Midwestern pizza chain. It's based in Omaha, Nebraska, at 2808 North 108th Street. Omaha, Nebraska.
Well, there you go.
4. Yeah, I would. Well,
Yeah.
you second guess yourself, and you almost
Yeah.
blow the podcast.
I think we both have a deep well of knowledge about very specific interests that are so different from what the other one is into. But it's sick that you knew that. But we meet in the middle at Herman Cain.
I mean, yeah, I have family in Omaha and Iowa, and Godfather's Pizza and Pizza Ranch are the competing Midwestern pizza chains. I think the only thing, if you shout out to the Midwest, there's a bastardized restaurant called Taco John's. That's like, what's that?
Oh, yeah.
Record scratch. Taco Bell ain't Midwestern enough. So you got to go to Taco John's and get yourself a Sioux City taco, yeah.
How far north are these?
You're
talking like you're from Saskatoon.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so as you know, whenever I'm depressed and I want to feel sadder, people listen to like sad records when they want to be sadder. Instead of cutting, I watch House Hunters when I'm feeling really down.
Yeah, I know. You have my Hulu password. Dude, I got on. I never use my Hulu. I got on for the first time in a month, and you don't just watch House Hunters. You watch all of the property shows.
I do.
Yeah.
HGTV. When I have the blues, I'm watching HGTV.
Well, yeah, you did say this has been the hardest week of your life.
Yeah. And what's so crazy is, like it's all of HGTV is just like one big advertisement, right? So like it's certain episodes will be like, so like the people are on this, I guess they're not contestants because it's not a game show, but the people on the show who are shopping for a house will be like, oh, so here's my reported income, wink, wink, and your reported income, wink, wink, and they're typing it into their phone. And they're like, thanks, Rocket Mortgage. We figured out what our down payment should be, our budget for a credit line, and what our monthly would be. And that's just an ad for like Rocket Mortgage, to buy a house through Rocket Mortgage. But other episodes seem like it's an even double down advertisement. Like, and I call the listener to watch season 182, episode 3 of House Hunters.
Did you just say season 100?
82.
There's 182 seasons of House Hunter?
Brother, this is like, that's the drop in the bucket. There's more. That's not even the most up-to-date episode.
That was filmed in the 90s.
The show's been going on longer than you or I, and it will go on longer than you and I ever will.
It made it through the housing market collapse?
Absolutely. Isn't that okay? So this is what's crazy about HGTV and the financial housing crisis. All of the tiny home shows start popping up because what's depressing now is there's this show called I want to get the name right, but I believe it's My Lottery Dream House. Let's look up the name.
Wait, is this season 182, episode 3?
Of House Hunters, I'm talking about. People should watch.
Oh, okay.
So there is a show called My Lottery Dream House, and David Bromstad takes recent lottery winners on over-the-top house hunts for their new dream house, which HGTV is saying like, okay, so America's beat down from a decade of watching like container homes and tiny homes because of the financial crisis, but no one can afford a home. Why don't we just go with lottery winners and just rub that in the face of the poor? What's that? You want to have a 4-bedroom house in Seattle so your kids can go to a good school district? Well, you've got to win the lottery.
That is bleak.
Bleak, dude. It is bleak. And
yeah. Dude, the HGTV execs talking about it. It's like, all right, we can do another season of Bucket House, the show where people live in a bucket and eat dirt. Or 1 in a million house. One in a million.
Literally, it's someone from like, somewhere from like Rust Belt, Ohio, and they're like, "Oh wow, Windows!" like, and the show is kind of like demeaning and talking down to them. It's like they never thought they'd be able to purchase a home for their grandchildren. And it's like, God, this is mean. Just stop.
Look at him. He doesn't know what a spoon is, idiot.
It's a shovel for. Yeah, you know that grain that we eat sometimes. Well, it's a shovel that would make. It seems a lot smarter than a fork. So, season 182, episode 3 of House Hunters. It feels like propaganda, but for the town of Washington Island, Wisconsin. Like, this married couple is in their 20s, and they're like, we're going to leave the hustle and bustle of Milwaukee and start a family in Washington Island, Wisconsin. And the whole time, it's like the most pleasant, like, communicative, respectful, caring, love language relationship couple I've ever seen go through 3 homes. Like, they're like, well, I did want a room to play my guitar, but we can always just remodel later. It's like, we got to start a family. It's like, you can play your guitar on the porch. I sure can. Like, at one point, the guy is wearing a Washington Island tourist T-shirt on there. It's like, okay. And my favorite is like, okay, at the very end of the show, they're like, we're from the large city of Milwaukee, and we just want our kids to be native islanders, And it's like, that's not, when people say native islanders, they're talking about, like, what, Hawaii, usually? Yeah. They're talking about, like, Maui, not...
Yeah, we want to make sure our kids grow up weird and isolated, so we're moving to an island.
We're moving to, The Shining? It's a lot more remote than that.
Dude, I love to imagine, like,
I was just like, Jesus Christ.
Dude, this is rocking my world right now. I love to imagine, like, the cameras go off, and he's like, God damn it, just let me play the guitar around the house. She's like, no! You take it to the porch or your own room.
And as a stone cold sober person now, I watched it, and it was during my lunch break. I came home for lunch before I went back to work, and I was like, I feel high. Like, I feel like I don't feel sober. I just watched something that isn't rooted in reality, because most of the House Hunters, like, the good House Hunters is like when, as you or I, two losers, like, when you watch House Hunters, you watch one in San Francisco, it's like the minimum, their budget is like, well, our maxed out is 1.9 million, and and the realtor is like, I'm sorry, you're not going to get anything in the city for under 1.4. And like, you or I, we can like watch that and scoff and go, whatever, because like that's out of the realm of possibility for us. But like, or like when a couple argues over like things, or it's like, it's always like some like putz dad who's like, I want a microbrewery in my basement, and the wife is just like, we're having another baby, Alan, It's always like, yeah, so you can like,
it was either the craft brewery or a divorce.
Yeah, so the viewer can detach themselves from those two instances where it's like, I can never afford that, and I'll never be that selfish. But when you see like a loving couple that like communicates respectfully and is on the same page of like life goals and plans, and their budget for a house is under $400,000, and they're willing to remodel over the years, it's like, oh, what? Like, no. Ah.
Is this not cartoons?
Yeah, seriously. And just getting startled by that while having to wear my glasses to watch it in my late 20s is like, oh, I am rotting. I'm like falling apart. I used to be a virile young man, and I'm not no more.
No, you've always had readers.
That's so true. I guess I was never a virile young man.
Dude, well, I don't know. I don't think you have to be a native islander to not be rotting and falling apart.
That's fair enough.
I mean, if you're falling
Jake
apart,
Rowe, you know,
what's that?
look at local drywaller Jake Rowe.
I like how much. Dude, wait, that's I wasn't even at that show. I didn't watch that show, but I know that's Danny's joke.
Is it?
And I love how much mileage it's getting.
People call him
I
that?
think it's Danny's joke, but
Oh,
yeah,
well. I mean, if I'm stealing it from Danny, my bad, but we're gonna keep using it.
no, yeah, everyone has to. No, he changed. He changed the way we talk about Jake Rowe.
All right. Well, I just dominated the conversation for a long time. You go.
That was fascinating. No, I kind of blew my wad on the Post Malone thing.
Wad blown. Wow. Get the sham. Wow.
I've listened to every version of Only Want to Be With You so many times this week. I was sitting in class on Monday night, and I was like telling my brain, I was like, "Stop it, stop it,
Oh
stop."
man.
So I'm doing great. If you're rotting, I'm like imploding.
So
You have the studio apartment that you pay for. I'm in my parents' house.
man. I was gonna ask if we need to keep it down.
Hey, they're out of town. I'm
Dude.
cutting loose.
You're Tom Cruise. You're walking around in your dad's dress shirt and your underwear.
Yeah.
Isn't that movie like he's like a guy who starts running a brothel out of his parents' home when his parents are out of town for a week? It's been like 15 years since I've seen it, but I remember him falling in love with a prostitute at one point. Yeah, which
Pretty Woman?
super lame and religious Tom Cruise.
Rip.
As a true king under 5'10", we don't claim Tom Cruise because he's 5'6", and it's not that we have a problem with 5'6" heroes. It's that he's a monster. He's an evil person with Scientology and like how he like kept his wife under house arrest. Like, but
He kept his wife under house arrest?
Yeah, Katie Holmes? Was that his second wife?
That sounds right.
Yeah, she had to like just how like Britney Spears is now under house arrest by her father. Like it's really grim. It's really messed up. But but like for example of a true king under 5'10" would be George Strait. He's like 5'4", you know, and he's a boss.
He's a boss, dude.
Dude, yeah.
I like that he's never worked as a cowboy, but he's still got cowboy hands. You can just see it in his hands.
Yeah. Yeah, who's got cowboy hands? George Strait, George W. Bush, and Rita Perlman, people who work on the land.
Wait, I wanted to ask, I've actually been meaning to ask you specifically.
What's up?
And I know it's not 2004. I'm so late on this. But what's the deal with Scientology? Like, I get that's bad. You like sign people in for like lifelong pacts to pay money to this like religious business for a billion years.
There's so many documentaries that like fumble over it, and Leah Remini, which my second favorite sitcom of all time is The King of Queens, and Leah Remini was, obviously the star. She was Carrie.
Oh, yes, yeah.
She was, I'd say, the biggest Scientology stars are Tom Cruise, Leah Remini, and this is no particular order ranking of fame, John Travolta, and then who is the actress that everybody hates? And she did Mad Men, and she did
January. No, Elizabeth
Moss.
Yeah,
God, isn't she the worst? Like, but
yeah,
and I wondered why. I wondered why she made my skin crawl, and it's because she's a Scientologist. But like the Scientology, like if anyone wants to watch Scientology, like Leah Remini's docuseries is fine. I kind of only needed to watch the first one because I feel like I got all I needed out of it. But there's like a 5-part series. But Going Clear on HBO is like the one. That's like the one that like any other documentary after that one is just kind of like redundant at this point. Or like Miscavige, he's like the current president, CEO, and religious leader of Scientology. His
Hmm.
brother and father had to escape imprisonment from. I believe his mom, or she might have passed away in basically a prison work camp of Scientology. But I forgot who, if it was his brother or his father, escaped the work camp and then did a Rogan, and that was like the first Rogan I ever listened to, and it was like
Well,
2 hours of him explaining like you sign a contract where you are dedicating your life for 1,000 years of work
hmm,
for free to get true enlightenment from like
yeah,
New or whatever their god is. South Park also did a great breakdown of it, but it started out as just like science fiction that became commodified into a pyramid scheme that became a full blown religion.
yeah,
It's kind of like, yeah, I feel like Scientology was the QAnon of the early thousands,
hmm.
where it was like a crowdsourced science fiction belief that became a group think that like led to people dying.
Didn't they get like hacked and almost dismantled by QAnon?
Scientology did?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be even
Oh,
funny. I didn't even know that.
wait, what's the difference between Anonymous and QAnon? We are Legion. Expect
Wildly
us.
different things, bro.
Oh no, dude! This whole time I thought they were the same thing.
So Anonymous is like a group of like hackers. They're like a group of hackers that will do deeds that they see fit for justice, for like maintaining freedom on the internet, and I guess trying to fight a technocrat world. Sorry if I'm like, just like saying words that make people glaze over. Whereas like QAnon was and so Anonymous is like associated with like those Guy Fawkes masks. Remember that movie V for
Yeah, yeah,
Vendetta?
yeah. I feel like I know pretty well what Anonymous is. I just thought that now
Yeah.
was also QAnon.
And they're also kind of associated with like being like anarchists or anarcho-communists, but people who want to like dismantle government and create a like semi-communist society. But what it's funny actually. Well, before we get to like what QAnon is, it's really funny. I didn't know this about the Guy Fawkes mask. So like that's like the symbol of like anarchy, just like it was in V for Vendetta. And people associate that mask and Guy Fawkes because Guy Fawkes
Hmm.
was like a guy who tried to kill the I forgot I just read like an entire Oxford textbook of like British history of the British Isle, and that was a month ago. That was like 40 days ago, and I've already forgotten all of it. Like
Yeah,
I don't even remember. I used to know
that's what
like
I'm saying. You're wasting your time with these books.
I really am, dude. I'm wasting my sexual prime reading. Uh,
No, dude, this bookshelf is gonna get you laid.
dude, oh,
The
no,
reading, not so much. The
not
having books near your
having
bed,
books. So what was
major
funny is
playboy.
at one point England switched from being like a Catholic country to Anglican because King James, I think it was the eighth, wanted to like murder his wife and divorce her so he could have a new wife to try to get a male heir, and he created the Anglican Church. And so basically, like the British Isle was divided up by three religions. You had like the north of England and then Scotland, which bordered it. They were all bordered it. It was Presbyterians, and then basically like West England and Ireland was all Catholics, and then the rest of like Southern England was Anglican. They're the ones closest to London, closest to Westminster Abbey. They were in the sphere of influence of the king, so they were Anglicans. And Guy Fawkes led a mutiny. I think I was on the 5th of November. That's why they say remember the 5th of November to kill the current king at the time. And it was not, and people associate Guy Fawkes being like an anarchist, like, oh, he tried to kill monarchists, and that's what we want now is we want to kill leaders. And it's like, yeah, but Guy Fawkes actually was not anarchist though. He wanted to kill the Anglican king and replace the king with a Catholic one. So it's like, and the Catholic is even more bootlicking because you believe
Yeah.
in Pope. So it's like Guy Fawkes was actually the biggest bootlicker of all time. He wanted to remove a king to get a papal king. That's like so
Yeah.
dumb, dorky. It's lame.
Well, yeah, you've changed my mind. I'm throwing my Guy Fawkes mask straight in the trash.
Dude, please do. All right. And, you know, like, if you really want to be an anarchist, put on a Shrek mask because Shrek
Yeah,
he
dude.
killed the monarchs so he could live in his swamp. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he took one back to his swamp. He turned one into an ogre.
That's right.
Back to his
Yeah.
swamp.
Yeah. So no more Guy Fawkes masks, Shrek masks from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick aside for a great Robin Reynolds joke. I accidentally voted for Trump only because I thought he meant when he said he's going to drain the swamp, he was promising to kill Shrek.
Yeah, classic shout out Robin Reynolds, local comic.
That's Robin Reynolds on Google.com.
On Google.com, on altavista.net. So that was just, I don't really want to talk about QAnon too much longer, but that's the whole thing. My gripe with Guy Fawkes, and that's my explanation of Anonymous. But QAnon was just a conspiracy that was created on 4chan to explain how Trump was going to drain the swamp and remove basically the political establishment of the Republican and Democratic parties and lead to a real change. And how he was going to do so was he was going to expose Trump was being guided, and these secrets he couldn't just tell to the public. So QAnon was someone who worked in his cabinet who would leak these secrets to Trump's voters and supporters on 4chan in a forum so that they could spread word of mouth, grassroots style. And the conspirator and revealer of secrets Q revealed that there was a torture chamber of children that had been kidnapped and kept underneath Central Park. And people of the right and left political establishments were draining the kids of their blood and also having sex with them to take their youth. And they were doing so, and they were bringing them from Central Park to the basement of a pizza place in Bethesda, Maryland, just outside of D.C., at a place called Bethesda Pizza. And that's why this guy from North Carolina and eventually Alex Jones really blew up the conspiracy of Pizzagate more. And Pizzagate was just one of the branches of QAnon, and that's why Alex Jones talked about the show enough that in January 2018, a guy attacked that pizza place. He drove from North Carolina with an AR, and when he stormed the restaurant, he found out there was not an actual basement, and that got arrested for I guess that would be aggravated assault, maybe. I don't even know what you would charge him with, but
charge him with being a hero.
Yeah, right. And the conspiracy kept growing to where people had stormed the Capitol on January 6th, trying to stop the steal as they saw it. But what QAnon really is the same thing, and this is me being a real conspirator. All it was probably started by someone who, of the political right establishment, who knew that the best way to, subside the Trump voters who despise the political right. They don't like people like Mitch McConnell. They love people like Trump, but they still vote Republican. So the best way to subside them is give them gossip and things to think about, and enable them. But if QAnon explains that the mission, the storm is what people would say, wait for the storm in quotations. And the storm was the biblical moment where Trump was going to have a mass exodus of those establishment politicians from office. He was going to remove them from office and execute them if needed and free the children. And so in order to explain why the storm wasn't happening or why Trump was losing, political establishment right figures created this conspiracy so that people who voted for Trump would be too busy worrying about what these cryptic messages on a forum meant and not looking at how things like healthcare, minimum wage, things that would actually help them aren't happening. And it's the same thing why Democrats are talking about how, I don't even want to go there, but basically every political party creates fictional reasons why the things that the middle, the poor, working class and middle class want, why they don't get what they need. It's well, we have to stop these big bad guys. That's why we can't help you. So I just went political there. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's navigate.
It doesn't really answer my Scientology question, but you've given me a lot of interesting information.
Dude, I put on these glasses and I become a Capitol Hill old Austinite conspiracy guy.
Yeah.
This sucks. I'm really sorry, everybody. Let's think about it.
I'm really sorry. No, it was really helpful to me personally because I'm an idiot. Look at me. I listen to the Daily every day.
Yeah.
I don't know what QAnon is.
Yeah.
What a dope.
Yeah. I don't know if
Yeah.
if anyone wants, I don't know. I never mind. Let's not even go there. But we're almost out of time. Let's finish strong with something funny because we just went real political.
Yeah, I don't know if this episode has come out yet. But there was that one time you spent some time talking about Moneyball.
Oh yeah, that was.
And I didn't know what it was.
Dude, yeah, that's the sign of like an emotionally stunted young man. I hadn't cried in months, and the first time I cried was watching the Brad Pitt film Moneyball.
Yeah. And another sign of an emotionally stunted young man. I couldn't register that you were trying to tell me about a time you cried. And I was like, yeah, G-Baby, bro, G-Baby, because I thought it was Hardball. I thought you were talking about the baseball movie. The baseball movie Hardball that I saw in second grade and haven't seen since.
Man, I feel like we just went into a dark path with QAnon. We started with House Hunters, and then we took it all the way to QAnon, which I feel
all roads lead to QAnon.
All roads lead to QAnon.
Especially House Hunters. I think especially House Hunters.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's why I had to stop taking acid was House Hunters. I remember.
Really?
I remember at one point in August I took acid and it lasted about 13 hours, and I watched about 7 hours straight of House Hunters, and I was like, I'm useless. I'm never gonna have a home, and I just like got so bummed out that I was just like, and I got like sad with like what everything was in the world that I was like, I'll just give up acid forever. So thanks.
It sounds like you have that same experience watching House Hunters when you're not on acid.
I think I should just stop
on your
thinking
lunch
altogether.
You what?
Should stop thinking altogether.
Yeah. You know, in the Pol Pot regime, they killed anyone with glasses.
Really?
Because they might be smart.
That's so funny. But
so, just something to think about.
My goal is to and for everyone, because I have a brother with a political science degree, and I have a lot of friends who've, wasted their time getting the same piece of paper, and I'm sure that they heard all the things I just said politically and were like, this is like, objectively false and proven wrong. And what I really wanted to show people is that stupid people can also walk into a Lens Crafters, okay? Just because you have glasses doesn't make you smart. I'm the key example. I've watched the same 9 seasons of The Simpsons for like months because I just don't have it in me to start a new show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Why would you?
Why would I?
Yeah. Meanwhile, at Warby Parker, you got to do like Sudoku to get in.
These glasses are actually Warby Parker.
Oh, are they really?
I know.
Well, hey, don't worry. Idiots can shop at Warby Parker too.
Yeah, you just point, that one.
Yeah. The real smart guy move is just to never go to the eye doctor in your whole life, and your vision starts deteriorating, and you're like, well, it'll probably get better. Probably just snap back.
The real smart guy move is to be Salvino De Marte, who probably invented eyeglasses around 1285.
Do you think he goes to Godfather's Pizza too?
I would assume so, because that's al dente.
That's an al dente pizza.
Now, I feel like we need to pay our respects to Godfather's Pizza, and I believe that these words come from the Pokemon movie. But are you saying I'm funny? Funny how? How am I funny? Funny like a clown? Do I make you laugh? Like a clown?
Yeah,
I just
dude.
watched I watched Goodfellas for the first time in like 10 years, and boy, is it long. I'll say that
Yeah.
much. Like,
Never, you
it's
know
not
it.
retarded, but it's a movie.
I feel like the only time I've watched it. No, that's Reservoir Dogs that we watched at Mugs one time.
Uh, we also watched Fritz the Cat.
Fritz the Cat was crazy.
That was bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With no sound too.
no sound. Yeah, let's. I want to give our respects to the Mugshots Bar on 7th Street, but that's
Yeah.
we're ending the episode sad. Let's finish.
Oh yeah, sure.
Lighthearted. What's your favorite Scorsese?
Don't ask me these questions. No, don't set me up for failure in front of Jesus, Sam. In front of the listeners, in front of my dog, you're gonna set me up to look like an idiot like that.
Yeah.
What's my favorite Scorsese?
Okay. What's the best movie you've seen in a while?
Oh, you know what? I saw Knives Out. My brother and I watched it on his birthday.
Yeah,
What a delight! A total romp.
yeah.
An old plot with a refreshing brand new twist. The lead is Latina.
That's good.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
What's the best film I've seen in a while is oh god, I'm blanking on the name. It's called Next with Nicolas Cage. Have you ever seen it?
Mm-mm.
Basically, Nicolas Cage is a magician, but he can only see 20 seconds into the future, and the FBI like is like, we need you. And this is '07, so this is still like when the war on terror was still like in full force. So they're like, you're a magician who can see 20 seconds in the future. Al Qaeda is coming to America, and we need you, Nicolas Cage, to help stop the Taliban.
It's so funny how like political, whatever the like political threat, the political villains are just the villains in movies, and like in the early 2000s it was Al Qaeda, and now it's just like Wall Street hedge fund managers and like Fox News execs. You know what I'm talking about? How they like make those political movies with like a villain.
Yeah, yeah. I guess bankers are the villains in movies. I feel like I don't know. I don't even know. I haven't seen a movie this year that's come out this year.
Yeah, I don't think anything has come out this year.
The only thing. Oh no! Wait. What's the last movie you saw in theaters? I guess mine was 1917.
Yeah, I think mine was the Grinch animated movie.
Yeah.
The Grinch. No, it was Onward.
Onward.
Yeah,
What's that
but I
about?
did go see the Grinch by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to just go to Alamo. Also, R.I.P. I used to
Are
just
they
go to
cool?
like, what's that?
Is Alamo done for good?
A lot of them are. They filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Who cares? Tim League doesn't tip. Um,
Is that the owner?
yeah, that's true. He would come in and no matter how much he spent, he would like 50% of the time tip nothing, like 30% of the time tip $5, 20% of the time.
And all he wanted to do is watch his vintage Bruce Lee movies.
Yeah,
That
he's not
sucks.
a bad guy.
All
All right,
right.
what are we gonna get out on?
What's that?
What are we gonna get out on?
We're gonna get out on. God, this is the worst. Fuck. You know what, folks? Let's start
That's for
supporting
show.
that this is it. You know, they can't all end on a. You know, you watch a lot of baseball games, and they don't all end out with a walk-off home run. A lot of them end with a bunt and someone getting thrown out at first. And I'm going to assume that this is somewhere in the middle. But you know, this is the show. This is the LDF podcast. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube and on iTunes, do that. Give us a comment on the vids, rate and review. Give us a written review on iTunes. It really, really just helps people find the show. Follow LDF Podcast on Instagram at Andrew double underscore.
Double underscore.
Yeah, really helping out with that.
Everything about this show is hard to search.
And that's the show. We'll see you next week.
Bye.